Alright, so welcome to my new video series. Yes, this is going to be a series. It was originally planned to be one video, but the video got too long, so I decided to chop it up into 5 parts. So these are the 5 parts. Part 1, Alternative Armors. That's the one we're going to be doing today. Part 2, Shadows Preserve Us. Part 3, Tanking Everything. Part 4, Secrets of Aetherius. And Part 5, Infinite Power. So let's get started with number 10. Weapons Unbound. Now, I titled it Weapons Unbound because that's the focus here, but honestly, you can have full armor, shields, and there's a whole bunch of different weapons that you have to choose from. Basically, anything that you can either get from a standing stone or from a bound weapon or armor scroll, you can have that permanently. When you click on these standing stones, or when you use one of these scrolls, you get whatever the item is that is designated, whether it's bound boots or bound sword or whatever. But there's an interesting thing in the game where if you can repair the item, either use it and damage it, or if your blacksmithing is high enough, you can over-repair it. You can then unequip it and drop it on the ground, so that when the spell runs out, it's not in your inventory to be removed. So then you can pick up that bound weapon, and you now have it permanently. This is something that's apparently pretty common knowledge amongst veteran players, and is a super, super good early game advantage, because it allows you to basically have not quite Daedric. I mean, it looks like Daedric equipment, but it's not quite Daedric equipment. Like basically right at the start of the game. The easiest one to get is the standing stone right at the base of the mountain where the Skyrule Temple is, and that gives you gauntlets and either a dagger or an axe, depending on whether your blunt or your blade is higher. So if your blade is higher, you get a dagger. If your blunt is higher, you get a mace. And right off the bat, to get a weapon that is that good, that early in the game, it's a huge boon. But this is something that is actually viable through most of the game. Now, a lot of the footage that you're watching here is just me running around with unenchanted, just basic bound armor, bound weapon, bound shield. And I'm on expert difficulty here because, like I said, this stuff's not enchanted. I don't have rings. I don't have an amulet on. It's just the armor. I don't have anything else special going on. And I'm able to achieve 85 AC with just this equipment. Now, there's still one drawback. You still got to fix this stuff. And there's a lot of things out there in the world that like to use spells or weapons that destroy your armor instantly, like 1 or 2 hits. And that brings us to number 9, Monk of the Cloth. Now, Monk of the Cloth, as you can see here, he's just wearing clothes, doesn't have a weapon, doesn't have much of anything on, right? But he's running around and he's beating the piss out of everything he finds. Again, this footage is on expert difficulty because I just tossed this together real quick. He's not very optimized, but you can see he's not having trouble. He's beating up bears, he's beating up trolls, no problem at all. And the big advantage here, and now this equipment I did enchant, because enchantments are important for this build. Because it's clothing, it doesn't provide any natural armor, like armor does even when unenchanted. To get the benefit of this, you have to enchant the equipment. So it's not an early game thing. Early game, you're probably going to have to wear leather or maybe some mithril or something. But once you start taking out Oblivion portals, you can start farming those sigils to get your fire shield, to get your frost shield, to get your lightning shield. Those are the 3 you need. Now let's take a closer look at what I've actually got on. Alright, so before I get down into the nitty-gritty, there is one item that I wanted to mention before we got started, and that is the Bands of Kwang Lo. They are relatively easy to get, but the only way to get them is to steal them. You can't purchase them, you can't trade for them, there's no quest. They're just in a locked chest next to the arena under a gazebo where there's 2 NPCs sparring. And the NPCs have the key to open the chest. It's a very hard locked chest, so you're not going to be able to open it early game. The easy way to do it is to just pickpocket the key off of one of the fighters and then go over and take it out of the chest. It's 20 points for hand-to-hand at early game. That's a huge boon. But later on, you're going to drop that, and I'm about to show you why. So these are the 3 items that I have, and this is the reason why we dropped the Bands of Quan Lao. These are the shackles that you start the game with. Most people, including me, throw these away. Don't do that. These are actually extremely valuable. Veteran players know this because, as you can see, they have no durability because they count as clothing. They also, and that's why they don't have any armor bonus, because they're just chains. But they also have no weight. So if you put, like I have, Shock Shield 25% on here, it's 25% to armor and 25% resistance to lightning. And it's 0 weight. So you get this, and then I got Frost Shield, and I got Fire Shield, and they don't have to go on the shoes and the shirt. And that's just how I did it. I just tossed it together real quick. But these are the 3 items you need. Now this is only 75%. And as you can see, we're capped on here at 85%. Well, that's because I took the Lord Stone on this character, so I've got an extra 15 points from that. If you didn't take the Lord Stone, I don't have anything on my pants. And you can see I'm not wearing jewelry either. So you can just get another Fire Shield or Frost Shield or whatever you want, whatever you feel like you're short on in your build, and put it on your pants or a ring or an amulet or something. And then I grabbed the Veil of the Seer because it's red, so it went with my outfit, and it kind of makes him look like a boxer. And it has Detect Life on him. That's on self. That's why the monsters I was fighting in that clip were sparkling, because I had this hood on. You don't need to get this. I just thought it was cool that there was a hood that matched my outfit and had a useful ability on it, so I grabbed it. But you could just get a regular hood and enchant it with whatever you want. So you have the pants, the hat, and then 2 rings and an amulet. There's a lot of flexibility and versatility in this character of equipment loadouts, because these 3 are the only ones that are mandatory. You have to get the AC, and you want to get the, I mean, you could just get 3 shields, but you want to get the elemental bonus. You don't want to waste the opportunity to get that extra defense. And because you're only using basically 1 skill, unarmed, and you are going to level up your athletics and your acrobatics through normal gameplay, this character is going to stay relatively low level, which means any leveled monsters are also going to stay relatively low level. So that's part 1. Let me know if I missed anything important or any details or anything that might make this a little bit better. Leave in the comments down below. I'll get part 2 out in, I don't know, a day or 2. But for now, thanks for checking out my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.